The Geneva-based non-governmental organization Al-Karama confirmed that the UN mechanisms had reached the recognition of the responsibility of the Algerian state for the enforced disappearance of its citizen Boubacar Ferghani, calling for a transparent investigation to reveal the truth. Regarding the victim, who is one of the thousands of Algerians who were kidnapped between 1992 to 1998 by the police and army in Algeria and whose families have not received any news about them until today, a statement by the organization stated that the United Nations Human Rights Committee concluded during its 135th session, which was held in Geneva from June 27 to July 27, 2022, to the responsibility of the Algerian state for the enforced disappearance of Boubacar Ferghani, on the basis of a communication from Al-Karama dated May 26, 2016. Al-Karama noted that despite the many recommendations made by the committee regarding these disappearances, the authorities still refuse to shed light on the circumstances of these crimes and bring the perpetrators to justice, making use of the provisions of the Charter for Peace and National Reconciliation, which broadly establishes impunity for perpetrators. Boubacar Ferghani, a professor of history and father of 5 children, was kidnapped from his home in Constantine, northeast, on the night of June 22, 1995 by dozens of agents in civilian and military clothes, accompanied by a masked informant. Since that night, his family has never seen him again. On the same night, a large-scale operation in the city launched by the army targeted many activists and sympathizers of the Islamic Salvation Front. Some of them were summarily ignored by the army, so that the next morning, many bodies were scattered in some streets of Constantine and its surroundings. The statement says, the organization cited the Human Rights Committee as confirming that the state may not invoke the Reconciliation Charter when it stipulates general impunity for police and military personnel who commit serious crimes. The committee recognized the arbitrary nature of the victim's detention, as Ferghani was arrested without a warrant and without charges. He was never brought before a judicial authority so that he could challenge the legality of his detention. The committee concluded that Algeria had failed in its obligation to protect Ferghani's life, because the very definition of enforced disappearance includes a unique and integrated series of acts that constitute a continuing violation of various rights, including the right to life. It also noted that the authorities refused to acknowledge the victim's deprivation of liberty and to reveal his place of detention. The UN body urged the Algerian authorities to conduct a prompt, comprehensive, effective, impartial, independent and transparent investigation into the disappearance of Boubacar Ferghani and called on the state to release him if he is still being held incommunicado, return his remains to his family in the event of his death, and prosecute those responsible for the violations committed while providing adequate compensation to the family.